job the men and women of law enforcement have at our southern border. Check this out.
On your back, you're nervous,
And that is Texas Trooper Jaclyn taking charge and wrangling at least 10 male migrants there and arresting the driver who now faces charges of human smuggling. That tense interaction comes as Border Patrol braces for a new wave of illegal migrants. Tens of thousands of people are said to be waiting for Title 42 to expire on May 11th. Joining me now is that fierce, courageous Texas Trooper you saw in the video, Jaclyn. Also with us is Staff Lieutenant for the Texas Highway Patrol, Christopher Olivares. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having us.
Trooper Jaclyn, I want to start with you. Just amazing footage there. I saw that when you joined the Highway Patrol, you were at the top of your class in terms of female athletes, and you really put that athleticism to use there. Talk to us about what's going through your mind during a stop like that.
The thing is, when you work on the border, you just never know what you're going to encounter, and you have to be ready at any second. So you could have what might seem like, we don't like to say the S word, but a slow shift, and then at any second you have to be ready to jump out of your car and get into action. We were lucky in this case that I had a lot of other officers and a lot of help very close by me, so we were able to catch all 10 of those migrants pretty quickly and get control of the vehicle and the driver and everyone was safe, thankfully. But it's not always the case. Sometimes you just have to think pretty quickly on your feet.
Well, that was quite impressive. And Lieutenant Olivares, I know that you post these kinds of encounters several times a day, almost every day. I mean, it goes to show how challenging and how dangerous your job can be. I mean, one stop, you have to handle a dozen people. What happens when Title 42 ends next month? Do you and Texas DPS have a plan in place?
Well, right now, the governor has actually deployed specialized teams which are comprised of state troopers and National Guard to some of these areas, such as El Paso, Eagle Pass, Del Rio, where we see that influx of illegal immigrants coming across, or trying to come across. But, we look back, 2 years now into this crisis, and yet the federal government has not put a effective plan in place or a policy in place to stem that flow of mass migration that we're seeing, even with Title 42 just weeks around the corner where it's going to be lifted. We still continue to see thousands of illegal immigrants that are waiting in Mexico right now because they know that when May 11th comes, that's going to be their chance to come across the border. And we expect to see a massive influx of immigrants coming across, but that's why we are taking a proactive approach and trying to deploy as many resources as we can at the state level to some of these areas. But the fact of the matter is, really, this is not the responsibility of Texas. This is the responsibility of the federal government to actually step in and do their job to secure the border. And because of their neglect to secure the border, we're having to fulfill that responsibility. Just like you see the dedicated work from Trooper Gooding and other troopers that we have on the border every single day, day in, day out. They're dedicated to protecting the state and also protecting the country. And if it wasn't for their efforts and for the leadership that we have, from the governor all the way down, there's no telling how much more worse the situation would be right now.
Jaclyn, I know that your job entails a lot more than just that moment that was caught on camera that so many of us are talking about. You're putting in a lot of hours down there. Talk to us about some of the other situations and even the struggles that you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. We're just tired. We work a lot of, our normal way for a border operation is 12-hour days, 7 days straight. We may or may not have a day off in between, and a lot of people are doing that every other week. So to keep that momentum, because it is something that we're all very passionate about, and we wouldn't be here if we weren't passionate. It's just exhausting. It's exhausting to try to have our own family lives outside of that. Luckily, we do work with a lot of great people, and it makes it easier, even working with our partners in Border Patrol and sheriff's departments and local agencies. That makes it a little bit easier, but it's just overwhelming at this point. And like Lieutenant said, until something is done federally, it's kind of an impossible task that we're tasked with, and it's something we've never faced before.
Well, we are so grateful to you. I can't imagine what you deal with every day, and 12-hour days, 7 days without breaks. That's tough. Lieutenant, dozens of Democrats in the House and the Senate, they introduced legislation this week that would make it harder to hold illegal aliens in custody. The bill calls for their release if they qualify as a, quote, vulnerable person. Some of the qualifications are if you are gay, if you're lesbian or which I would imagine a lot of the individuals you encounter don't speak English. Are Democrat lawmakers looking for any way to make your job more difficult?
Well, I mean, just with that bill alone, that tells you right there that that's not what they want. And all that's going to do is just send a wrong message to those that are making this wrong turn from their countries to the United States. And also keep in mind that the criminal smuggling organizations are going to use that message as well to their advantage to continue to exploit, mass migration. Anyone now can come across, if this bill does pass, which I hope it doesn't, but if this bill does pass, now any migrant coming across the border, all they got to claim is that they're a vulnerable person, if they don't speak English, or that they are part of the LGBTQ community. That in itself, I mean, that's not going to stop the flow of people coming across. And what you're gonna have, the end result is you're gonna have a constant backlog of people that are in the country right now. They're never going to see an immigration judge, so they're going to get lost in the system. So it's just going to create more chaos. And I hate to use that word chaos, but that's what we're seeing right now. Now the fact that they're going to allow or even think about this bill, they just want to create massive amnesty for anybody coming across that border, which defeats the whole purpose. It goes against what we should be doing, the rule of law, and that is enforcing immigration laws.
Yeah, indeed we should. Well, Trooper Jaclyn Gooding, Lieutenant Olivares, you're both heroes on the front lines of this border crisis. We appreciate you so much. Amid all those long hours that you're putting in, you're not forgotten. Thank you so much for your service to this country and for being with us tonight.
Thank you
so much. Appreciate it.